Welcome to my studio. In this video, I want to share with you a way to simplify a one-point perspective. Whether you're drawing a road that vanishes off into the distance, or you're drawing a building straight on, or even a simple box. If you understand the very basic rules to a one-point perspective, it'll simplify the process and make it so much easier. Let me explain to you. First of all, let's go ahead and draw a horizon line, or your viewpoint. So from your perspective, if you were looking straight on, we would have a line right here, and this is our horizon line, or our viewpoint. If I am wanting to draw a road that vanishes off into the distance, I'm going to draw one point, which will be the vanishing point. And it doesn't matter where it's at. I can put it in the dead center or off to the side. Let's put it right here, and we're just going to put a point right here. And as the road goes further off into the distance, it's going to get smaller and smaller. So if I wanted to do a road, I could say it's going to get wider here. And I can draw a line both directions. To make it look like it's going off in the distance, I can put a fence, I can put telephone poles, or I can draw cars or a train or anything like that on this. But what you need to do is understand that there's only 3 different lines that you can draw with one-point perspective. The first one is a horizontal line. You can draw horizontal lines. The second one is vertical lines. You can draw lines that are completely vertical, not slanted one way or another, but completely vertical. Or you can draw lines that angle to the vanishing point. So if you remember only horizontal, vertical, or vanishing point lines, you will have it right. So if I wanted to draw some posts that go off into the distance, they're going to get bigger, obviously, as they come towards me. I can give myself a guideline. Let's go to the vanishing point right here. And I can actually, I'm going to do a dotted line so you can see that this is just a guideline. Just kind of dotted it here. And I can use that to tell me how far up to go. What I want to do is I'm going to use a T-square just because that will help me keep it perpendicular here. And if I wanted to put my road just along, or my post just alongside the road, I can give myself a little bit of a guideline here. And then I'm going to draw the posts going straight up. Now, if I don't draw them straight up, then it's going to torque it and it's not going to look right. So as the posts get further and further to the distance, they actually get closer and closer together. And as they come closer to you, they get further and further apart, and they get bigger. So because I've drawn those lines, I can see how big they need to get just to appear like they're going off into the distance. So at this point, you could draw a thickness to the lines, you could draw a cross line, but what you want to remember with the one-point perspective is if I try to draw one of the posts, let's do a sample on this side. Let's try to do the very same thing, but I'll show you what not to do and what will make it look torqued. We've got ourselves a guideline here. And we'll put a guideline up here for how tall to make them, however tall we want them. So if we start and we're putting lines in for the posts clear down here, and they're just getting further apart, if we start turning them and tipping them every which way, they are going to not look, I mean, it can look like an old fence, but they're not going to look right perspective-wise. So you can see I've got a straight one here, but if you can see the tipping and the turning, that's telling you that it's not going off into the distance. So if you are trying to draw posts or a building or anything like that, always remember that they have to be completely up and down. Don't tip and turn them. So the biggest key for me to understand one-point perspective is vertical lines are completely straight up and down. Let me just explain one more way to look at that. So let's turn this paper over, and we're going to draw our horizon line in here. And then let's just draw a small little box. Just going to draw, I'll even make it smaller. Just get about that big. Okay, and this line right here is the viewpoint. So we have it below the horizon line or below our sight level. So if we were looking at a box, we could see that we would be able to see the top of the box. If we had a vanishing point right here, we could actually draw a line from the vanishing point to both corners. And then we would want to draw a line straight across. We wouldn't want to turn it, we'd want it to be completely horizontal. And by making it horizontal, we would be able to see the top of this box. If we tipped or if we turned the angles, then it would look contorted. So here on this box, we have completely vertical lines, completely horizontal lines here and here, and these angled lines are going off to the vanishing point. So angled lines, horizontal lines, or off into the vanishing point. Now, if we wanted to draw a box at the very top, let's just do one of those really quick. If we drew a box on the top here, above it, what would happen? So we just drew this box right here below our viewpoint. If I were looking at a box straight on, I wanted to draw a box straight on, I would see the side just like this. If I raised it up, I could see the bottom side of the box, and if I lowered it, I would be able to see the top portion of the box. So if we are to draw that, we've got our viewpoint, so where our eyes are, and we've drawn a box here below that, and we're able to see the top of the box. Now we've drawn a box up here, and if we draw to the side here, let's go ahead and go from point to point. So we're doing an angled side here, and we're going to go to this point as well. Then what we can see is the very bottom edge of the box. So this line right here has got to be horizontal. Now, if I wanted to do this side of the box, I only have three choices. I have the horizontal, vertical, and to the vanishing point. So I draw a line from the vanishing point to that corner, and then I would draw a vertical line straight up from this other corner, and you can see the bottom edge and the side of the box. So keep in mind when you're doing one-point perspective, you're always working with only three lines: horizontal, vertical, and to the vanishing point. I hope that helps.